super attorney Kevin Hughey from Hughey Phillips is with us. Hello, Kevin.
That song was so calming. It was so soothing.
Right?
Really?
Not for Dawn.
No,
No,
I hate
it's
reggae
wound her up.
music.
Yeah. We actually, I want to start actually with the reason we asked you on originally with all the crap that's going on. So I'm gonna spoiler alert you just a little. You have a nice story, a mostly happy ending story.
Yay!
It's new for me. It's true.
Okay.
I have a feel-good story.
Well, plus I think people want to know that before you start, especially with some of the details and everything going on in the world. So before we get to other stuff, you texted me last week about this story. And when I read it, I said, "Oh, you got to come on and tell this." So tell us what happened.
Wednesday late in the evening, I was heading home from the office, and unfortunately, I actually heard a dog yelp. It was very loud. I didn't see anything before I heard the yelp, and I looked over, and there was a gentleman who had this dog. It looked like a pit mix, very, very small, obviously very young, turned out to be female, tannish. She was laying down on her paws, so she was just kind of, down on all of her legs, her head down on her front paws, ears down. The dog did not look very happy. And this guy was walking a tight circle around her, kind of rapping, yelling in a way, and most of it was anti-canine sort of stuff. I heard something like, you're supposed to be man's best friend and something like that. And I thought, this is not look good to me. I heard another yelp as I was turning because I was going to stop. And as I looked back real quick, I saw the guy pull his leg. His leg was being moved back like it was on the dog. I don't know if he kicked the dog or stomped it or what. So that was plenty enough for me. So I started walking, and as I was doing that, he lit a lighter and put the flame down on the dog's snout.
No!
Yeah. So I was on the verge of losing my stuff. I'm not sure which word is acceptable there. Something bad was going to happen. I mean, that's just not, I'd like to think nobody could walk by that, but it was going to be bad. So I confronted the guy. I said, "Hey man, what are you doing? Leave that dog alone." And he was high on something. It wasn't life. He was pissed off about something. He was a big dude. He kept rapping like in my face, and we were close to each other. And I wasn't sure if he was understanding what I was saying. And I said, are you comprehending me right now? Do you get what I'm saying? And he just kept going, and it got a little hostile. And I thought, I can either follow the laws of nature or man right now, but I'm not leaving without that dog. So I called 911, and the dispatch was kind of disappointing. She kind of just brushed me off to animal control.
What at this point? So did you just walk away or keep him in sight while you're calling?
I took about 3 steps back so I could get my phone out, and I wouldn't be within his arm's reach, so I could talk on the phone. And you picking up your phone didn't incite him further because he's so out of it, or we don't know. He was manic. I mean, I don't know, and I wasn't sure if it was mental illness, drug. I wasn't sure what it was. Later, when the cops, jumping ahead a bit, when the cops got there, they said he was fine. They were interviewing him, so I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what the guy was doing, but he was not interested in talking to me. Put it that way. So I was disappointed. 911 dispatch said, get a hold of animal control and we'll get somebody out. And I thought to me, this was as dire as it gets, right? Yeah. Right then a cruiser came by, a SAC PD cruiser, and I flagged him down, and the guy stopped and said, "Is something going on?" And I pointed out the individual and the dog, and I told him the whole story, and this guy jumped on it. Him and his partner went over there and talked to the guy, sat him down.
Oh, nice.
Kind of eyeballed the dog a little bit. The junior cop came over and asked, generally what I saw, and I told him, and I said, "You're going to take that dog, right?" And he said, "Well, we're not sure. We're not sure yet. It's not our call." And after I told him everything that I had to say, I said, "Well, unless you need me, I'm going to take off, because if you leave the dog here, nothing good is going to happen, right? Either that guy's going to come at me or it's going to be bad." So I left. About 10 minutes later, the senior cop called me and said, "Can you give me a statement?" And I told him, and it turns out he recognized, I still blows me away, the voice. Mm-hmm. Turns out he's a Rad Radio fan, big listener.
Yay.
He and I talked for a few minutes. I told him everything I could think of. And I implored him to, I said, "You please just take the dog. I mean, you can't." The dog already looked bad enough. And after law enforcement intervention, you can imagine, I figured the guy would be hostile towards somebody. The dog's still there. So 45 minutes later, I got a voicemail from Officer Fremgen. I believe his first name is Peter. I'm not sure, but SAC PD Officer Fremgen. And he assured me that they got animal control out there. They took the dog. The dog was inspected by a vet the next morning. I'm not sure what kind of condition the dog is in right now. Animal control has called me since. So hopefully she's okay. But to that officer's credit, he recognized the severity and that dog's life mattered, right? Kind of keeping with the theme today. So they separated the dog from that guy, and to me, that was a great thing.
Good. Yes, absolutely.
And it is, I don't want to say it's unusual, but it's case by case for that exact reason. That whole law enforcement, animal control having to work together, and cops going, okay, so I have to stand here for 40 minutes until animal control gets out here thing.
Frimgen didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He did not. I mean, that wasn't his thing. He could have called animal control and just dumped it in somebody else's lap.
Yep.
But he stayed there for probably a good 2 hours, and the right result happened.
Good.
Wow.
So-
Good.
Well,
Thank you.
That is a good, and it's heartwarming to hear that he's a fan and a listener, and to the point where he recognized your voice. So that's always
Thank you. to
Creeps me out a
him.
little bit.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
yeah, you're getting used to it. You're getting recognizing grocery stores and things like that.